What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to JoJo Speaks. We are back for another review for 90 Day Fiance The Other Way.
Hey,
I'm back with my boy Dustin. What's going on, Dustin? How you doing?
I'm doing better. Thank you, Jonathan, for over the weekend. Thank
Abs-
you for always being there. It's
Absolutely.
been a really rough time for me. Really, we got some stuff going on, and it's been a really rough time. So thank you for being there as always, and thank you very much.
No problemo. Anytime, Dustin. Anytime. I'm always here for you. So let's start with James and Natalia. So James and Natalia, they're is it Indonesia that they're in, Dustin? I think.
Yeah, Indonesia. Yeah.
All right, so they are in Indonesia. The previous episode, James arrived in Indonesia. They've decided that they will be staying with Natalia's parents, but they have not
Right.
told them yet.
Yeah.
So they're going out and they're discussing when exactly they're going to reveal to Natalia's parents that they're going to be staying with them. And Natalia's like, "Well, I think we should do it tonight." And James is
Right.
a little bit apprehensive. He doesn't necessarily
Mm,
want to have that conversation. And I understand his reservations as to why he would not want to particularly have this conversation right now. But
right.
like Natalia said, better sooner than later. It's better we,
Yep.
get this going ahead and get this out the way and go ahead and, be open with her parents. And when we
Right.
saw the preview for the next episode, Natalia kept referring to herself as a burden to her parents. So what were you thinking
Mm-hmm.
of in their scenes on this particular episode, Destin?
Well, you know how the certain word that they say. It kind of affects me. That word affects me a little bit when I say the word burden.
Yeah, yeah.
It really does because of my situation. So when I heard the word burden, it just kind of make me kind of emotional certain way because every time hear that word, my situation, it brings up my situation to
Yeah.
me, and I have to think about it all over again, and because I can't control the way that I am. So
Right.
when people say that I'm a burden, it kind of makes me think, well, damn, what can I? I can't change my situation. So
Exactly. It's not your fault.
that's just like the word when they say the word burden. That's how what I go to in my head, and I just don't like the word burden. I say maybe you have another word to say, but when people say the word burden, that just goes right to my head. Um, that's
Right.
just downright to mean to say that. And yes, I do have a lot of support from Jonathan JojoSPEAKS. So that's okay. But that's just how I am.
Yeah.
It affects me. Certain words affect me more than others.
Right.
That's how. um, but TLC, they can do a better job getting some different couples on the show. There's certain couples that I don't want to see on this show, but they're putting them on here anyway.
So
And
are
there's a
James and Natalia one of those couples that you don't want to see on the show?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, why do you say that?
It's because I don't see it lasting. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't see them. They're hiding a lot of stuff. Uh, they're hiding a lot of stuff that they're hiding from the parents.
Right.
Uh, why are you hiding it from your parents? I don't understand it because you're just causing more issues for your marriage. Um, you guys are married. Your marriage is not going to last for the long haul, Jonathan, at all. And not for not no, not when you're hiding stuff from your soon to be in-laws because your
Right.
in-laws your in-laws are going to find out anyway. That's
Eventually.
just my they're going to find out eventually. So I don't see why this is going on the way it's going on. Why didn't you just tell them in the first place before she even came here? Um,
Exactly.
yeah, let's save the headache. Um,
Get
I,
it over with.
get it over with. Yeah, I just don't. Uh, it affect it's highlighting to me. Um, people put themselves through the stuff they don't need to go through, and yes, I do. Yeah, that's what I mean. They put themselves through the stuff they don't need to put themselves through. Um, but
Right.
be honest with who you are with. And that's just my opinion about that situation.
Exactly. And And what is your reaction to James being nervous about telling Natalia's parents that they're going to stay? Like, why do you think that they're going to reject them and say, no, you can't stay here, so we have no plan while we're here in Indonesia? Why do you think he's so
Well,
apprehensive to having this conversation?
I think that he's going to get rejected. I feel like he's going to get rejected. Uh, I feel like that they're going to reject him for staying there, and they're not going to allow him to stay there. That's just that's just how I feel about it, and I think they might have to get a hotel, like a hotel, something, stay in a hotel while
Ooh.
he's there, because
And
I don't think they're going to allow him to stay there.
right. And James also mentioned the fact that he feels some type of way about having kids. He didn't reveal that he didn't want to have kids or whether he wanted them or not, but he said
Mm-hmm.
that they still have to have that conversation. So it sounds like
Right.
James is not interested in having a family with kids, but Natalia's
Mm-hmm.
parents have been telling her, they were telling her in the previous episode, you have to have children. So how do you think that that
Right.
conversation is going to go? And it's surprising that they're married and they haven't talked about
Mm.
this yet.
Well, that's another hiding. Why are you hiding that situation?
Right.
Um, I don't hide nothing from Jonathan. I don't. I tell Jonathan everything.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't hide nothing from anybody. So why does it? Why do you have to hide it from them? Um, that's just me. Why do you don't put it? Just tell her you can't. Don't want to have kids. Um, but just don't hide anything because it just puts you in a more situation than you have to be put in. Um,
Right. And
it's it's awful. It really is. It's just awful.
when you try to set yourself up for success, you have to put all the cards on the table, and you
All
can't leave
right.
anything unsaid. And the fact
Mm-hmm.
that he does not seems like he doesn't want to have any children, and he hasn't had
Right.
that conversation with his wife,
Mm-hmm.
Natalia, yet. His wife, they haven't had this conversation, and they are married.
But
And
I but I but I was under the impression that she couldn't have kids because of her health issues that she's going
oh,
across.
oh, I did not know about that. So she's talked about health issues in the past seasons before?
She she was talking about health issues on the first episode of the season.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
so I don't think that maybe it's going to be a hard thing for her to have kids, and I just think that she's not telling him the whole truth. Um, and that's on her. I'm not going to say don't tell him, but don't tell him because she needs to tell him. But I don't know why this is. You know, you have to have two people to have want to have kids. So
Right.
you have to be on the same page with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, yeah. So that's that on that. We got Aaron's D. Hi everyone. Hey Aaron, what's going on, boo?
And,
So let's move on to Statler and
um,
Dempsey. So Statler and Dempsey. So Statler is on her way to the UK. Please like and subscribe.
right.
Thank you so much for that, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Statler is making her way over to the UK. Dempsey seems to be very excited to see her girl. And
Right.
so Statler gets there. Before she gets there, though, she says in the confessional that she does have ADHD, attention
Right.
hyper deficit disorder, as well as she's on the autism spectrum as well.
Right.
And so we know that a lot of times with those who are typically autistic, they are very truthful. There's responses can sometimes seem deadpan as if they have no
Uh,
emotions or no feelings. And they don't get
mm-hmm.
really excited about a whole lot of stuff. Or if they do get excited, you can't really tell with their facial expressions or the way that they
Right.
vocalize or things of that nature. So when Statler gets to the airport and she meets up with Dempsey. Dempsey's a little upset with the fact that Statler doesn't seem to be excited to see her. I don't know how long it's
Mm.
been since they've seen each other. It seems like it's probably
It's
been
been
a
a
few
it's
months.
been it's been like a I think it's been like a year, hasn't it, since they filmed the show? Because
Okay,
I think she went back to the United States, and this is the first time she's been seeing her since since last season. And
gotcha.
I think she
So,
went back. I think she went back to the states to make money because
okay,
she knew because she had to make money to get that food truck going thing. So
Right.
she had to go back to the United States to make the money, but she couldn't have a
Yes.
job. Yeah.
Hey Bianca,
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much for being here,
I'll be
boo.
honest.
So in my mind, with them being in a relationship, hey Robin, thank you so much for being here.
Girl.
In my mind, I would think if I'm Dempsey and I know that my partner is on the spectrum, it seems like she would be used to this.
Mm,
I don't know how Statler had reacted in the past times that they've seen each other at the airport or things of that nature. So it seems like this was somewhat of a surprise to Dempsey, but I would think that
uh,
she would expect her to kind of not show much emotion. And she also said that she's been
mm,
very tired. When you've
mm.
been on a long flight going from the US to the UK, I believe that's over at least a 10-hour flight. And so,
That's over. I think it's over. Like I think it's is it 12 hours or 15 hours? I think that.
yeah,
But
it's
that may.
somewhere in that range. Um,
Yeah.
so Statler is she doesn't have the energy. She literally
Mm.
said, "I don't have the energy." So, what was your reaction to Dempsey being upset with the fact that Statler didn't seem excited to see her?
Well, let me tell you something. I would be more excited to see my best friend anytime.
Yeah,
So if even so, I'd be more excited to see. You know, that's your supposed to be your fiance. So
right.
you should have more excited feelings. Um, that's just me. I would be more excited to see you, Jonathan. Um, I'm always excited to be with you.
Yeah,
So that's just I'm an excited person. Um, because Monday is the highlight of my week to be with my best friend. So
yes,
and yeah, that's the highlight of my week. So you're always there for me, so I'm gonna be over there for you, and I'll be a highlight of my week.
absolutely. And so they're in the car, and Statly is she's a little she seems to be a little bit down in the dumps, and they sort of kind
Uh,
of get into this argument or whatever the case may be. And so I'm probably not going to enjoy this couple too much. Dempsey doesn't
mm-mm,
seem too bad on the surface from what I've seen. This is my first time actually seeing Dempsey. And she doesn't
right,
seem to be too bad. However, the way that Statly's friends have been talking about Dempsey makes it seem as though Dempsey is using Statly for her money and
right,
using her for her resources, and not contributing too much of anything financially to the relationship, which can
right.
always be a bad problem because you want,
Mm-hmm.
of course, in any relationship, you will want both partners to be contributing, unless one is, just filthy rich and the other is just being taken care of. But,
Oh,
that's not the
I wish I
case.
was filthy rich.
Right, but that's not the case for the majority of the couples here in the
No.
world, and so both people would want to contribute to the relationship. So I'm sure we'll be able to see their relationship a little bit fleshed out in the episodes to come. We see in the preview
Right.
for the next episode that they're going to get their truck or their bus or whatever the case may be. It seems pretty big for two
It's a
people, but
bus. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a bus. Yeah.
it is a bus. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how that goes. I've never seen a 90 Day
Mm-hmm.
Fiance with a couple living in a motor vehicle. So I'm sure that'll be interesting. I don't know where they're going to go. Do they have
Yeah.
a business plan? Do they plan on selling things? Hey, Lady Virgo, thank you for being here.
But
Um,
they said they're going to try to have like a Meals on Wheels business. Um,
gotcha. Okay.
they're planning on selling stuff and that's the reason why they got that truck, or the bus truck, go around and sell stuff with it. So we're gonna see how that turns out to be.
We
Um,
will.
yeah,
I'm hoping for the best for them though, because I always love to see
uh,
LGBTQ plus representation on television. So I'm going to be rooting for them, although I don't expect to have the energy to root for people if they don't have the right
I'm rooting for
intentions.
him. I'm rooting for him, but I'm also preparing for the worst.
Exactly. That's what we all should be doing, Dustin. We all should be rooting for them and preparing for the worst because ain't no telling what's going to go on these 90 Day Fiance shows. Excuse
No.
me. So let's
Mm,
move on to Josh and Lily. So Josh and
right.
Lily, they play badminton. Is it that they were playing?
Badminton. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Hmm.
playing badminton, which is sort of a version of tennis in a way. They use rackets, they
Yeah.
use balls, but not the regular tennis balls. They use some something smaller to do it. But badminton is something that Lily really enjoys. She loves playing it. She plays it all the time. Sometimes she'll
Yeah.
play it while Josh is on the phone. And Josh mentioned that sometimes he wants to see the people that Lily is playing with, probably wanting to know
Mm-hmm.
if they're male or female. He said he finally got to meet the males that Lily has been
Right.
playing badminton with. And so it comes out in this particular episode that Josh seems to be a little insecure when it
Right.
comes to his relationships, and he doesn't have the most confidence in his um, in his personal, I guess maybe his looks or his personality, whatever the case may be. Some people are just insecure. I think all of us have our own insecurities that we have to deal with. And
Right.
this is just how Josh's insecurities are fleshed out. But
Right.
Lily, really expressed to him, sometimes when I tell you I love you, I feel like you don't believe me. But she used the word fake. She said sometimes she feels like he thinks that she's saying it and it's not actually how she feels. But
Mm.
she
So
she lets
yeah.
him know that she loves him.
Right.
What did you think about that exchange, Dustin?
Well, that's a word that I that's a word that I don't hear a lot. Uh, so I don't have the. I hear that from Jonathan, of course, because I know that he loves me very much, and I love him very much. So that I don't hear that word a lot from. So I don't have the support like from Jonathan that I have from anybody else. So that's a lot. But that's just I don't. That word is a mouthful for me. Because it's a lot. Bring me think. I think about a lot my situation a lot when I say that word.
Right.
And, yeah, it's a little bit of an emotional word for me sometimes. um, yeah, it's kind of like iffy, kind of like sometimes. But I try to move on, move on and go on. But I understand where she's coming from with that word.
Right. Yeah. And did it surprise you that Lily expressed to him that she feels like he doesn't believe her when she says that she loves him? Because I think that's really just his insecurities that's eating him up. What did you think about that?
Right, I think it's his insecurities.
Hmm.
I think it is.
Yeah. And Lady Virgo just mentioned Angela a little while ago. Jennifer sent me some TikToks of the tell all, so I'm going to watch those
Right.
TikToks so that on the next review, we can speak a little bit about that tell all because I
All
want to see
right.
what's going on with that tell all. But Lily is such a sweet woman, and it's so clear how much she loves Josh. And
Yeah.
she really clings onto him. Yes, they have their issues, with the fact that he really doesn't have too much money. And
Yeah.
she has a really, really good job. She seems to be living in the Epalapa luxury, honey, in that
Right.
penthouse looking thing, driving a
Right.
BMW.
Hmm.
But it seems like she's happy to be with him, and he makes her happy. And when you're in a relationship and it seems to be lopsided, it seems like one person is putting in a little bit more than the other. As the prime example that I would use is Gino and Jasmine. Is Jasmine
me,
seems to
me
always be
too.
putting in everything in the relationship, while Gino puts in little
Yeah.
to nothing. But that
Uh,
doesn't seem to be the case in this relationship. Josh does express himself to Lily, and thankfully,
hmm
he's able to express his insecurities because a lot of times we like to keep those insecurities in because we feel like it makes us feel lesser than.
Right.
And so I'm at least happy that feels free enough to share his insecurities
hmm
with Lily. And then she's
hmm
able to then reassure him that my love for you is real. I do really, really do love you. And let's do this together. So I'm really rooting
hmm
for Josh and Lily, although they do
Sure.
still seem to be like an odd couple to me. Like they don't seem like
They're
they go together necessarily,
they're
but
they're they're an odd couple. They're definitely an odd couple.
right. But I love the fact
They
that
don't seem like.
I love the fact that Lily at least knows English, so they're able to communicate. And her English is actually pretty good, at least
Uh,
in my opinion. I feel like she does a pretty good job with her English. But yeah, they seem to be a
hmm
very sweet couple. And Josh literally
uh,
just wants to be loved, and there's
uh,
nothing sweeter than that. So I'm loving
uh,
watching them as well. Um,
uh,
so let's move on to our last couple, Miss
so
Shekinah and
yeah.
Sarper.
Okay.
So Shekinah lets Sharper know that she met up with his ex-girlfriend, and
Mm,
his ex-girlfriend said that Sarper told her that he loved her, And Sarper had told
Mm.
Shekinah that he never told any other woman that he loved them. And Sarper seems like a player to me. So I just have to keep
He
it
is a
real.
he is a player.
Yeah,
He is a
it's
player.
starting to show a little bit more and more. But the worst thing about that is Sarper is so freaking charming. I really need to look up and see what his zodiac sign is because he's giving a little bit of a Leo slash Libra. I don't know what was going on with him, but Sarper, is telling Shekinah. I never told her that I loved her, and Shekinah says, well, sometimes I tell you that I love you and you say you too. So, might that have been the case? And Sharper was like, no,
Uh,
no, 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 not at all. So
mm,
she says that she's going to believe him. She says that she's going to take his word for it because they are
uh,
married. And
uh,
so, she's going to, move forward and start trusting him. But I'm
mm,
nervous for Shekinah because if she gets to a place where she gets too comfortable and not as suspicious, because here's the juxtaposition of things. When you forgive
yeah,
someone for their infidelities, when you tell them that you forgive them, it's really not right for you to bring it up to them again in the future, unless you have a valid reason for thinking that they are, being unfaithful to you again in the future. However,
right,
I still want Shekinah to keep her antennas up for any signs that he might be doing her wrong again, because
right,
Sharper is a very charming man and he can charm the panties off of any woman as good as he looks and as smooth as he talks. He could have anyone he wants, at least in my opinion. So what do you think of Shekinah deciding to believe Sharper and what he tells her and,
well,
deciding to trust him?
I don't think she should be able to believe him. I think that she should go off of what she was told by the ex wife or ex whatever she was,
Ex-girlfriend.
ex girlfriend, because I have seen the papers, all them papers that she had in that tell all, and
Hmm.
all the proof that they had in that tell all last season. I'm going off of that. I'm not going off of this. I'm going off of what I seen last season at the tell all because that was the proof right there. I need to see it.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Uh,
Lady Virgo is telling us in the comments how good the tell-all is. She said part 4 is going to be coming up. They're doing 4 parts of the tell-all like
they're
that.
doing 5. They're doing 5. They got 2 more weeks left.
5-part tell. Wow. And I really need to know why it's not coming up on HBO Max. But anyways, yeah, it's Sharper is such a slick guy. He's gives me pimp daddy a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He has a way with words, and like I said, he can charm the panties off of any woman. Breathing because he just looks that good. Other women may not be interested in him maybe because of his age, but he's a good looking,
right.
bottle looking man to me. But it is what
Mm-hmm.
it is. But I'm hoping that Sharper does Shekinah right because Shekinah is a really sweet woman. She has a child in America that she's not spending time with because she's over here with you, Sharper. And then you said a couple episodes ago that you don't think that you want to go actually back to America. So
I
it'll
think
be
that I think that the I feel bad for the kid
yeah,
because I feel bad for her kid because her kid is involved in this, and she's going to move to where he's at, and that kid is not going to have uh her mother. Her mother's not going to be there. Her mother's going to be with her fiance or whatever he is.
yeah.
So you better do it right. Um,
I I
because
really
if you don't, it's gonna be a tear down.
Yeah, I
Um,
really hope that Sharper does not prove me wrong, because I'm rooting for him to do good. And I'm starting to feel for Shekinah a little bit more. My heart is starting to soften for her a little bit more, especially with you telling me what happened at their last tell-all, Dustin. So
yeah,
my heart goes out to any woman who's in love and has to deal with infidelities, because when the person you love steps out on you, how can you look at them again and not just think? Or the only thing that is going to be on my mind if my man cheats on me is the fact that he was in bed with someone else and that person was not me, and I would not be able to get that out of my mind. And so that's why cheating for me is a last straw. is a deal breaker. Is
As it should be.
you exactly as it should be. But at the same time, I do understand why some people will forgive and um, allow their partner to try to do better. Because, I don't really believe in once a cheater, always a cheater. I think we all have the opportunity to change. And I think we all have the opportunity to do better. And I'm sure there are
We all
plenty of
do.
men that are out there
Yeah.
that used to cheat all the time and have become faithful. It's an extremely hard thing to do because that's really a part of the way that you operate when you feel as though you have the freedom to cheat. But I'm sure it is possible for people to get better in that particular category of infidelity.
Sure.
So I just want for Shekinah to be happy, and I don't want for all of the sacrifices that she made to be in vain. Because seems to have made a lot of sacrifices to be with this man.
Well, she's made more sacrifices than he has.
That's what it seems like. That's what she seems like. She's giving up everything to be with this dream man, and he's just running around on her. And I cannot endorse that. I can't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. Because no one deserves to be cheated on. Everyone deserves true, authentic love.
Everybody deserves to be loved somehow, some way.
Exactly. So that's all we got for this episode. This was season 6, episode 6 of 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way. Again, I'm going to get on TikTok to watch a little bit of that tell-all so we can talk about it a little bit next week. But thank you all for joining us. I saw Robin in the chat, Lady Virgo, Bianca, and Aaron. Thank you guys so much for being with us this evening. Join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. But for now, we're going to say bye for now. And join me on Thursday at 9:30 for JoJo Speaks Hot Topics and Social Commentary. Bye, y'all.
Yeah, bye.